In a world where every decision counts and the smallest choices can either chain you to mediocrity or launch you into greatness, imagine if you could rewire your life with the power of one tiny shift. Picture this. You wake up on an ordinary morning, yet every fiber of your being trembles with the electric promise of transformation. The secret? Not a magic pill, not a radical overnight breakthrough, but a simple, deliberate change, a habit. And not just any habit, but one that compounds every moment into exponential success. This is the untold story of Atomic Habits, a journey into the microscopic details of change that, when magnified, become the most potent force in your life. You've probably asked yourself, why do I keep falling into the same traps, making the same mistakes? In the next few minutes, you're about to uncover a truth that might shock you. It's not about the massive, heroic leaps you wish you could take. It's about the small, almost imperceptible steps that, if mastered, have the power to reshape your destiny. Imagine the subtle power of a whisper that builds into a roar, a whisper that, with each repetition, grows into the foundation of a new you. Have you ever wondered how some people seem to achieve their dreams effortlessly while you struggle to break free from the inertia of your routine? The answer lies in the hidden layers of your habits, the invisible architecture of your day-to-day decisions. Now, let me take you on a journey, a cinematic voyage through the inner workings of habit formation that challenges everything you thought you knew about success. Imagine standing at the crossroads of your life, each path illuminated by the glow of possibilities. One path is cluttered with excuses, frustration, and the relentless echo of "I can't change." The other, though narrow and winding, is lined with the promise of growth, where each small step is a declaration of your commitment to excellence. What if I told you that the secret to lasting change is not some elusive formula, but a simple, powerful truth? You become what you repeatedly do. Picture a sculptor chiseling away at a block of marble, every strike a tiny adjustment that over time reveals a masterpiece hidden within. That sculptor is you. Every small, consistent action is a chisel that shapes your identity, your future, your reality. In these next moments, as you listen intently, allow your mind to absorb a revelation. Success is not an accident. It is the natural consequence of a series of well-designed habits. Imagine harnessing this power to build the life you've always dreamed of, brick by tiny brick. Think about the last time you made a decision that changed the course of your day. Was it a conscious decision, or did it slip into your routine unnoticed? The beauty of Atomic Habits lies in their simplicity. Tiny behaviors that often go unnoticed until, almost imperceptibly, they transform your life. Consider the ripple effect. One small habit can set off a chain reaction that touches every aspect of your being. When you replace a single, unproductive routine with one that fuels your ambitions, you ignite a transformation that reverberates far beyond the moment. Now, lean in closer, because here comes the twist. The real magic isn't in the habit itself, but in the identity it builds. Imagine a mirror that reflects not just your current self, but the person you aspire to become. Each action you take is a vote for that future identity. Instead of setting a goal like, "I want to get fit," what if you chose to become the kind of person who naturally moves, exercises, and nourishes the body? That subtle shift from outcome-based thinking to identity-based transformation is what turns fleeting intentions into unbreakable habits. Have you ever felt like you were stuck in a loop, unable to break free from old patterns? The answer may lie in the realization that your habits are not just tasks to complete, but declarations of who you are. Imagine waking up each day with a clear sense of purpose, a deep, resonant certainty that every small action you take is a step towards becoming the person you were always meant to be. As you listen to these words, consider how many times you've been trapped in a cycle of self-doubt, waiting for the perfect moment to change. The truth is, perfection is an illusion, and the perfect moment never arrives. What matters is the consistent, determined effort you put in every single day. It's about making that tiny choice, again and again, until the sum of those choices becomes a force unstoppable by any obstacle. Now, let's dig deeper into the core insights that have revolutionized the way successful people think about change. Imagine for a moment that each habit you form is like a seed planted in the fertile soil of your mind. At first, it may seem insignificant, just a small, almost invisible mark, but over time, nurtured by consistency and care, that seed sprouts, grows, and eventually bears fruit. This isn't just a metaphor, it's the reality of how habits work. They're not a single act, but a process, a series of tiny decisions that, when compounded, create extraordinary outcomes. Think back to any significant achievement in your life. Chances are it wasn't the result of one monumental action, but the cumulative effect of countless small actions. Whether it's learning a new language, mastering a musical instrument, or building a successful career, the principle is the same. Tiny improvements add up. And here's the part that might blow your mind. These improvements aren't linear, they're exponential. Like a snowball rolling down a hill, each small gain builds momentum until, before you know it, you're moving faster than you ever thought possible. As you absorb this, ask yourself, what small habit could you start today that would create a ripple effect in your life? It might be as simple as dedicating just 5 minutes to meditation, writing down a daily goal, or taking a short walk to clear your mind. The key is not in the size of the habit, but in the consistency with which you perform it. Every day, every moment counts. And the most powerful aspect of this process is that it shifts the focus from what you want to achieve to who you want to become. Imagine, for a moment, the transformation that occurs when your actions are aligned with your identity. Instead of striving for a goal, you become the embodiment of that goal. Now, consider the way we often think about our habits. We see them as chores, as burdens to be endured until we reach our objective. But what if we flipped the script? What if we viewed each habit as an opportunity, a chance to reinforce the person you are and the person you wish to become? This isn't about forcing yourself to act. It's about creating an environment where every action naturally flows from your deepest values. Picture your habits as the silent, steady engine that powers your life, operating in the background, pushing you forward even when you're not consciously aware of it. At this point, you might be wondering how to break the cycle of old habits and build new, empowering ones. The answer lies in a concept that is as simple as it is profound: the habit loop. Every habit is composed of a cue, a routine, and a reward. It's the brain's way of economizing energy, creating shortcuts so that you don't have to make the same decision over and over again. Imagine your brain as a well-oiled machine, seeking efficiency and comfort. By understanding this loop, you gain the power to rewire your brain, to swap out unproductive routines for ones that propel you forward. Now, here's a question that might spark a debate in the comments. Have you ever tried to break a habit only to find yourself falling back into the same patterns? You're not alone. It's a common struggle because our brains are hardwired to favor the familiar. But what if you could disrupt that loop? What if you could insert a tiny yet powerful change, a cue that nudges you towards a new routine, one that rewards you with a sense of accomplishment, satisfaction, and progress? Imagine the thrill of outsmarting your own mind, of turning the tables on your habits so that they serve you instead of controlling you. In the midst of this transformative journey, let me introduce a moment that will challenge everything you think you know about effort and success. Picture yourself standing before a mirror that reflects not your current state, but your potential. Every action you take is a brushstroke on the canvas of your future. It might seem overwhelming, even impossible at times, but remember, even the grandest masterpieces are composed of countless tiny details. The secret is to start small and build relentlessly. As you continue listening, let this idea settle in. Greatness isn't achieved by one monumental leap. It's the sum of small, consistent steps, taken with unwavering faith in the process. Imagine the tension building, like the quiet hum before a storm. The storm of your own transformation. You begin to notice that every time you stick to a small habit, you're not just making a change, you're sending a message to your subconscious. I am in control. I am capable. I am worthy. And with each message, your self-belief grows stronger until it becomes a force that propels you toward extraordinary achievements. Can you feel that shift? It's subtle at first, but undeniable over time. Every success, no matter how small, is a building block for something much greater, a life where your actions are in perfect harmony with your deepest aspirations. Now, take a moment to imagine the alternative. Consider the alternative of remaining stuck in the same patterns, watching as each day slips by with nothing more than fleeting resolutions and forgotten intentions. It's a slow descent into a life that feels unfulfilled, where the potential for greatness is smothered by inertia. The real choice, then, is not about doing something radically different. It's about doing something consistently, something that might seem insignificant on its own, but over time becomes the catalyst for profound change. Let me share a story with you. There was a man who dreamed of writing a novel, a masterpiece that would resonate with generations. But every day he struggled with procrastination, his dreams overshadowed by the daunting blank page. Then, one day, he decided to write just one sentence. One sentence became a paragraph. That paragraph became a page. Slowly, imperceptibly, his dream transformed into reality, one tiny habit at a time. His story is not unique. It's the story of every person who has ever dared to change their life. The lesson is simple. Don't underestimate the power of tiny habits. They may seem insignificant in the moment, but over time, they build into an unstoppable force for change. At this point, I invite you to reflect. What tiny habit could be the spark that ignites your journey? Maybe it's the habit of reading just one page every night, or writing one sentence a day, or even taking a moment to breathe and center yourself before the chaos of the day takes hold. Whatever it is, recognize that this tiny act is the first step toward a future filled with possibility. And here's a thought-provoking question. How different would your life be if you embraced the power of small changes with relentless determination? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Share the habit you're ready to start, and let's spark a conversation that inspires change. As the narrative unfolds, let's shift gears for a moment and introduce a twist, a moment of tension that will leave you on the edge of your seat. Imagine that just when you think you've mastered the art of tiny habits, life throws a curveball that threatens to unravel all your progress. It could be a setback at work, a personal crisis, or the nagging feeling of self-doubt creeping back in. In that moment, you're faced with a choice. Succumb to the chaos or double down on your commitment to change. This is the ultimate test of your resolve. And here's the kicker. It's in these moments of adversity that your true strength is revealed. Picture a scene where everything seems to be falling apart. A storm raging outside as you sit alone, facing your fears. But then, in the midst of that chaos, you remember the power of your tiny habits. You recall the countless times you've overcome obstacles by simply showing up, by taking that one small step even when it felt impossible. And in that moment, something extraordinary happens. The very habits that once seemed so trivial become your lifeline, anchoring you in a reality where hope triumphs over despair. This is the magic of consistency, the power of the compound effect. One small action, repeated faithfully, can defy the odds and lead you to a breakthrough. Now, as you visualize this powerful scene, let it spark a flame of determination within you. Think about the people you admire, the innovators, the leaders, the visionaries. What do they all have in common? It's not just talent or luck. It's their unwavering commitment to their daily habits. They understand that each day is a new opportunity to reinforce who they are and who they aspire to be. And here's where you come in. The journey to greatness starts with the courage to begin, with the resolve to stick with those small actions, even when the path gets rocky. As you absorb these ideas, I want you to imagine a world where every small choice you make is a deliberate act of rebellion against mediocrity. Imagine a life where each morning you rise with the certainty that you are crafting your destiny, one habit at a time. The power of atomic habits is not reserved for a select few. It's available to anyone willing to embrace the process, to invest in the little things that add up to something extraordinary. And if you're feeling skeptical right now, ask yourself, what have you got to lose by trying? Even the smallest improvement is a victory, a proof that you are capable of change. Now, let's shift our focus back to you. Think about the last time you felt truly alive when every cell in your body was charged with possibility. That feeling wasn't a random stroke of luck. It was the result of habits that primed you for greatness. Today, you have the chance to reclaim that feeling, to set in motion a series of small, deliberate actions that will transform your life. It's not about radical overnight success. It's about the quiet, persistent work that happens when you commit to being better every day. And as you consider this, I challenge you to look in the mirror and ask yourself, am I ready to become the person I know I can be? The next few moments are critical. This is where the journey takes a dramatic turn. Imagine a scenario where everything hinges on your next decision. The stakes are high, the tension palpable, and every second feels like an eternity. In that split second, you have the power to choose the path of resistance or the path of relentless progress. What will it be? Can you feel the adrenaline coursing through your veins as you prepare to make the choice that will define your future? It's in these moments of intense pressure that true character is forged. And as the clock ticks, you realize that every tiny habit you've nurtured has been building up to this very point. Picture the scene, a dimly lit room, the soft hum of a clock marking the passage of time, and you, standing at the precipice of a monumental decision. This is the moment where fear meets determination, where doubt is met with unwavering resolve. And then, almost imperceptibly, you take that first small step. It might be as simple as taking a deep breath, sending a quick message, or writing down a single thought. But that small action sends ripples through your life, triggering a cascade of events that propel you forward. The tension is electrifying. Each moment builds on the last until you're swept up in a tidal wave of progress that carries you to a place you once only dreamed of reaching. And now, as we approach the climax of this transformative narrative, I want you to feel the weight of what you've learned. Every idea, every insight, is a piece of the puzzle that forms the blueprint for a new way of living. It's a system that doesn't rely on willpower alone, but on the deliberate design of your environment, the strategic formation of habits, and the steadfast commitment to a vision that transcends the ordinary. Imagine the exhilaration of knowing that with every small, consistent effort, you are not just chasing a dream, you are living it. Take a moment to envision your future self, thriving in a life built on these principles. See the confidence in your stride, the quiet determination in your eyes, and the undeniable sense of purpose that radiates from within. That future self is not a distant fantasy. It is the inevitable result of the atomic habits you choose to cultivate today. And as you reflect on this vision, I want you to ask yourself a provocative question. What will you do differently when you realize that every moment is a chance to redefine who you are? I invite you to share your thoughts below. What tiny habit will you commit to today that will set you on the path to greatness? Now, as our journey nears its end, let's bring all these powerful insights together. The secret to a transformative life isn't found in grand gestures or monumental sacrifices. It's embedded in the small, deliberate actions you take every day. It's about shifting your focus from chasing outcomes to embodying an identity that is resilient, resourceful, and relentlessly forward-moving. Imagine the liberation that comes from realizing that you hold the power to shape your destiny with every choice, no matter how small. The beauty of this process is that it's accessible to anyone willing to take that first step. Whether you're striving to build a successful business, improve your health, or simply become a better version of yourself, The principles remain the same. Start small, stay consistent, and trust in the compounding effect of your efforts. And here's a final, transformative insight. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single, decisive step. Every day, every moment, you have the opportunity to cast a vote for the person you want to be. It's a revolution that starts in your mind and manifests in every facet of your life. As you absorb this truth, feel the surge of empowerment washing over you. This is your moment, a moment to break free from the cycle of self-doubt and to step boldly into a future crafted by your own hands. Let your habits be the silent, persistent engine that drives you towards success. And when the inevitable challenges arise, remember that each obstacle is merely an invitation to double down on your commitment, to reinforce the tiny actions that collectively forge an unbreakable path to greatness. Now, before you take your leave, I want to leave you with one final burning question that will ignite a firestorm of discussion. What is the one tiny habit that has the potential to revolutionize your life, and how will you harness its power starting today? Share your insights, tag a friend who needs to hear this message, and join a community of changemakers who are dedicated to the art of small wins. This isn't just a video, it's a movement that celebrates the power of incremental progress and the extraordinary impact of everyday actions. As the credits roll on this cinematic journey of transformation, remember that the power to change your life lies not in grand declarations, but in the quiet, persistent act of improvement. Each day, as you rise, you have the opportunity to build a better tomorrow through the accumulation of small, meaningful actions. Embrace the challenge, relish the journey, and know that with every tiny habit, you are forging the path to a future where success is not an elusive dream, but an inevitable reality. As the screen fades and the echoes of this message linger in your mind, take a deep breath and envision the possibilities. Let the energy of this moment propel you into a future defined by passion, perseverance, and the quiet power of atomic habits. This isn't just another video. It's the beginning of a revolution in how you live, how you think, and how you become. And as you embark on this journey, carry with you the knowledge that every tiny action, every small decision, is a vote for the person you are destined to be. Thank you for joining me on this cinematic exploration of the power of atomic habits. Remember, the next time you face a moment of hesitation or doubt, look back on this journey and recall that every small habit is a spark that can ignite a blaze of transformation. Stay curious, stay committed, and most of all, stay relentless in your pursuit of greatness. The future is built one tiny habit at a time, and it starts with you.